Frank Gonzalez from Cinemark Theaters here with Tom Bateman from the new movie Cold Pursuit. Tom, you play Viking, the psychopath drug lord who kind of starts all the craziness of the movie. Tell us about the character a little bit.
He's this crime lord drug boss. He's a bit sort of crazy and out there in terms of the tone of the piece. Liam is such a sort of stoic, heavy, weighty, granite man. They really wanted almost very energetic bad guy to sort of counterplay that in the movie. So that's sort of where Viking comes in. He's this sort of, even though he's this sort of dangerous, threatening, I think at one point someone says he's a different breed of, you don't mess with this guy, he's really bad news. And it's because of this sort of psychotic, sort of crazy side to him. He actually, what I really liked about him is that he enjoys what he's doing. He enjoys killing people, he likes it. So actually when all this craziness kicks off, even though he's sort of sat there going, this is ridiculous, how can anyone do this to me? He actually quite likes it. He'd be bored if he had nothing to do, just sitting around doing nothing.
I read where he's kind of like a slippery character, and that you could have played him a number of different ways because he's such a different kind of character. Is that right?
Yeah. And really, when I read the script, there was a whole bunch of different ways it could have gone. But the way that the producers and Hans Pez, the director, were sort of leaning towards was this quite big character, and he kind of gets bigger throughout the film, I think, and I wanted to track that he starts off relatively sort of contained and small, and then when things start to attack him, he sort of becomes this brash, violent, sort of psychotic character,
This is the movie about fathers and sons, when you kind of get down to the basics of it and the relationships. His relationship with his own father, you never really kind of knew a whole lot about it, but at the same time, it really informed him in terms of the choices that he made, because he inherited his drug lorddom.
Yes,
rather than earning it.
Yeah, and that really, for me, was, even though it's not really scripted, was hugely informative for what I was trying to do, because I liked the idea that he was bullied, he didn't have a father figure really. He probably embarrassed his dad. I think we sort of imagine his father as someone who held all this together. He was actually quite a respectful, honourable man. He has this pact with Tom's character, White Bull. So it's kind of a good system, even though it's selling drugs and being illegal, but there's this sort of honour among thieves. And when obviously the dad's died and Trevor's taken over, Viking's taking over. And I think it's sort of him going, right, now I'm going to have some fun here. And he just sees it as power, and he just likes the power. He doesn't really care about this business and making money. He likes the fact that he can execute people and no one's going to challenge him.
That relationship with White Bull and Viking, it really just kind of morphs up into something really explosive by the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was a real opportunity as well to get quite nasty, because really with Viking, he's got some of the best lines in it. He's he's almost a lovable character, he's quite fun. You never know what's going to happen in his scenes, but then it gets pretty racist and it gets pretty gross, and in some of the things he says, there was this line in it about smallpox, which I was very uncomfortable with, but we were like, well, we need to go there because that's how despicable and disgusting this guy is. So really that relationship, and he again, Tom Jackson is so honourable and of the earth and this sort of like ancient tree, and just to have this sort of gross modern equivalent next to him, I think is a good dynamic.
It's a fascinating character, fascinating movie. Thanks for the time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.